Putin has unleashed a massive missile and drone barrage on Kyiv, marking a sharp escalation in the war. Zelensky's worst fears appeared to come true as Russia once again brought Kyiv under heavy fire. Ukraine burned through the night as fresh Russian strikes lit up the capital and intensified the conflict. Kyiv has been rocked by one of Russia's biggest attacks in weeks, with missiles and drones striking across the city. Russia launched one of its biggest attacks on Kyiv just hours after President Zelensky warned that a major strike could be imminent. Waves of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and drones targeted the Ukrainian capital overnight between July the 1st and 2nd. Ukrainian officials said at least one person was killed, while 11 others were injured in the attacks. Explosions rocked all 10 districts of Kyiv as Russian strikes hit residential buildings, hotels, and key parts of the city. A 9-story residential building partially collapsed, trapping several residents beneath the rubble. A hotel in central Kyiv caught fire, while multiple buildings across the capital were left engulfed in flames. Ukraine said Russia carried out the assault in coordinated waves, beginning with drones before launching ballistic and cruise missiles. Officials also claimed some of the strikes involved hypersonic Zircon missiles aimed at Kyiv. Thousands of residents spent hours sheltering inside Kyiv's metro stations as air defense systems worked to intercept the barrage. President Zelensky cut short his visit abroad after intelligence warned of a large-scale Russian attack.
Today, we have very unpleasant information about yet another Russian preparation for such a massive attack. Our intelligence has relevant information, and immediately after our press conference, after our meeting, I will be very quickly returned to Ukraine. And today, I ask our people to be especially careful to protect themselves, their families, and their children. Making sure you use shelters and air raid alerts is very important in Ukraine.
Ukrainian authorities also reported explosions in Zaporizhia, Kharkiv, Sumy, and Pavlograd during the overnight assault. The latest strikes came as Russia intensified its air campaign despite continued Ukrainian drone attacks. Ukraine warned that the massive barrage shows Moscow remains determined to escalate the war rather than ease tensions. Amid renewed attacks, Ukraine says Russia could be preparing for another push toward the capital, Kyiv. Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Sirski made the claims during an interview with TSN on June 30th. Sirski says President Putin has ordered Russia's general staff to prepare new plans for a possible Kyiv offensive. According to Sirski, the most likely scenario is a Russian strike from Bryansk into Ukraine's Chernihiv region. He says the objective would be to widen the front line and force Ukraine to divert troops from other sectors. Sirski added that an attack through Belarus is still being assessed but is considered a less likely option for now. Oleksandr Sirski said, and I quote, "Considering recent events, I do not think that the leadership of Belarus will dare to provide the aggressor with its territory to use as a staging ground for conducting an offensive operation. At the same time, we are taking such an option into account." Unquote. Ukraine has ordered the mandatory evacuation of 12 border settlements in the Chernihiv region starting July 1st. Authorities have also expanded earlier evacuation orders to include 7 more border communities. Sirski says marshlands, destroyed bridges, and the Kornibil direction all provide strong defensive advantages for Ukraine. He added that Ukraine has already reinforced its northern defenses to prepare for any possible Russian advance. Sberbank chief Herman Gref says Russia wants to bring the war to an end as quickly as possible. According to reports, Gref says the desire for peace is shared by many people across Russian society. Recent opinion polls suggest that around 81% of Russians support an immediate end to the conflict. Analysts say Gref's remarks reflect growing concern over the economic cost of the prolonged war. Despite backing the Kremlin for years, Gref appeared increasingly concerned about the conflict's long-term impact on Russia. Russia's defense ministry claimed major battlefield gains on June 30th from operations carried out the previous day. Moscow said Bogodarovka was captured after Russian forces pushed Ukrainian troops back. Russian Ministry of Defense said, and I quote, "Assault detachments of the 36th Guards Motorized Rifle Brigade, 29th Combined Arms Army, Vostok Group of Forces, liberated the settlement of Bogodarovka by pushing Ukrainian formations off the lines on the right bank of the Gaicha River. In the course of the liberation of the settlement, the enemy lost more than a platoon of manpower. 3 armored fighting vehicles, 7 motor vehicles, over 60 Baba Yaga-type hexacopters. The liberation of Bogodarovka made it possible for the group's units to gain a foothold on the right bank of the Gaicha River and disrupt defense of the armed forces of Ukraine in this area. The occupied line creates conditions for further action in the area of Alexandrovka and the advancement of the Vostok Group's troops in Dnipropetrovsk region." Unquote. Russia also released footage it said showed an attack on Ukrainian UAV command posts. A huge shockwave was reported after Russia said it dropped 5 aerial bombs in Donetsk. Russian Zircon drones were also said to have destroyed an enemy electronic warfare command post. The reported high-precision drone strike was said to have taken place in Nikopol in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Russia's defense ministry also claimed strikes using 5 OFAB 250-270 aerial bombs in Kyiv. Russia claimed Zircon attack drones struck a Ukrainian Special Forces training camp in the Mykolaiv region during a precision strike operation. Russia's defense ministry said Zircon UAVs targeted a special operations boot camp near Pribuzky used by Ukrainian forces. Russian defense ministry visuals purportedly showed a Zircon drone slamming into the target before triggering a massive explosion. The released footage appeared to show thick black smoke and debris billowing into the air as the strike devastated the compound. Moscow said the Zircon drones engaged the designated target in a self-tracking mode during the reported attack. Russia also claimed the operation struck troop concentration areas being used by Ukrainian Special Forces units. The Defense Ministry said the reported strike destroyed depots storing special-purpose watercraft and high-speed motorboats. Russian officials further claimed Ukrainian uncrewed surface vessels were among the military assets targeted during the operation.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.